275 million students just got breached. And the people who did it likely have an HR department. Recently, I sat into a ransomware incident where we discussed ransom negotiation. And you'd be surprised by how this part of cybercrime actually works. I was surprised. I was enlightened. Here's the TLDR of what happened in case you don't know what happened and you live under a rock. Canvas, the learning platform owned by Instructure, was breached. Shocker. I know. Shiny Hunters, the name of the criminal group responsible, owned 275 million students' data across 8,800 schools. This included billions, probably allegedly, I don't know, of student-teacher messages, private ones. Now, Instructure confirmed the breach, but what they described was a vulnerability in their production systems. Their public response was to rotate application keys, revoking privileged credentials, and resetting access tokens. Sure, that might give us a small clue into what actually occurred, but that type of response is expected when you have no idea how they got in. Revoke all the things! Now, if I had to guess, based off of Shiny Hunter's recent playbook, and this is a guess, phishing-driven credential and OAuth abuse is in their wheelhouse, their repertoire of attack. Mandiant has documented them stealing SSO logins and live MFA codes via fake login portals, then registering devices that they controlled for persistence. But their toolkit is all over the place. Credential reuse from old breaches, GitHub supply chain attacks, which GitHub had just had another recent vulnerability that's pretty bad. Direct SASE API exploitation. They've used it all. So it's anyone's guess at this point. Instructure hasn't said, and it's quite possible that they might not be able to find the source of intrusion. If that's anything that I've learned standing in from multiple incident calls, that you don't always find the smoking gun, fortunately, especially if logs get deleted, which happens a lot more than you might think. Now, here's the part that I actually want to talk about and point out, because the most surprising thing in cybersecurity is that my music isn't playing right now. It's not the breaches themselves.
I'm tired, boss. Tired of all the pain.
That's a dime a dozen at this point. Color us surprised. Another fucking company got breached. Shocker. All of our social security numbers are already out there. Your social security number will likely be leaked before you're old enough to even realize what your social security number is. The surprising part is actually how the people behind all of this bullshit that we have to deal with, how they're organized. And modern extortion crews, gangs, posses, I don't know what to call them. They're functioning businesses. And I don't mean this metaphorically. In 2022, Conti, stupid name. At the time in 2022, this was the most prolific ransomware group in the world. They had their internal chat logs leaked. And what we learned from that chat is that this isn't just some random group of bored teenagers in Moscow. It was a full-fledged organization. Over 100 employees. We're talking about having an actual salary, dedicated HR department, employee referral bonuses, an actual employee of the month program. What? Performance reviews. They had middle management. Same story when Black Basta's chats leaked in early 2025. Senior managers, coordinating budgets, hiring, affiliate relationships. Again, structured organizations here, because half of them came from Conti when Conti collapsed. These criminal organizations are like tardigrades. They can survive a nuclear explosion to their organization. They just scuttle off and they make another one. Recently, I sat into a ransomware incident call where a company we provide service for was hit by a ransomware attack. Luckily, it wasn't very big. The ransomware group, Quillin, whatever the fuck it's called, is currently one of the most active ransomware groups going right now. Over 700 attacks confirmed in 2025 alone. What stood out to me with how they handled the back and forth with the incident responders that were a part of the call is this became a literal business negotiation. We'll give you this amount of money if you don't leak our data and you give us the decryption tool. They responded with, nah, how about this? And then you just go back and forth to see how much are they willing to accept. Now, somebody raised a question. What is stopping these ransomware groups, or in the case of Canvas, they're extorting the data and they want you to pay them in order to not leak the data. So what's stopping them from leaking the data? So say you pay them and they're like, you know what? Fuck you. We're just going to post it anyways because you don't know who we are. You're not going to stop us, right? They have a reputation to uphold.
What?
And if word gets around that businesses are paying the ransom and they're not holding true to their word and they're just leaking the data anyways, or they're not giving you the decryption tool, then businesses are not going to be inclined to pay the ransom if that is their only choice. Say they don't have any backups. That didn't really occur to me, that these criminal organizations are treating this like a business and are doing everything to uphold their ransom negotiations. This is silliness. And I was not prepared for how professional it felt. It was a lot less like an extortion, more like, hey, we're just giving the old Russian hackers a chat. Привет, как дела? Just talking to them like another third-party vendor. And Qlin specifically pays affiliates, if you want to call them that, 80 to 85% of every ransom. It's better commission than most legit sales jobs. They advertise on dark forums with literal feature lists. They recently added a call lawyer service for affiliates running into legal questions.
I couldn't make this shit up if I tried. I'm sad that I lack the talent to make this shit up.
Now, Shiny Hunters is the data extortion flavor of crime business. Whether or not they're gonna get what they ask for, time is yet to tell. I don't know if they'll even admit publicly whether they succumb to their demands. And if you've been affected by the Canvas breach, 3 things tonight. You need to do it if you haven't already got this in place. Freeze your credit if you have reason to believe that your social security number was taken. Last thing you need is to graduate college and realize that, oh, somebody opened up a credit account under your name and now your credit score is in the shitter.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
It takes 10 minutes. It's free. Really not difficult. 2, assume that your Canvas password is burned. It has been pwned. Change it everywhere you reused it because we all know that you reused it. Don't lie to me. Change your passwords. 3, get a password manager. I recommend 1Password because it's one of the few that hasn't been breached. Start with your bank passwords, move on to your emails, and then your school login. Because
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show